Right, hopefully, I hope. Now, here's a wee game for you. If you're having a drink whilst you're watching this, if it's a Friday night, Saturday night, have a drink every time I say hope. Anyway, starting from now, I hope that cloud's going to clear because I'm away to do a wild camp on the top of this mountain, and that's the first cloud that I've seen in about 180, well, near 200 miles. It's been clear blue skies, and the first cloud I've seen is right above the summit that I'm going up to. So let's hope that that clears. It also looks like it's going to be windy. There's a few things that I'm hoping for, but I'll bring you back and tell you more about those as I head up. For now, I just need to get going and get up here because it's a bit late. Well, I'm getting a good view of the mountain in Munro, and this has got specific relevance. It's one of a kind, which I'll tell you about later on. But at the moment, there's three things that I'm hoping for. And I'll tell you, I think I've told you two of them, but I'll tell you this third thing that I'm hoping for in just a second. Let me spin you around and show you the view. There's the view to the top. Can you guess which mountain it is yet? All will be revealed in due course. But anyway, I told you that I'm kind of hoping to get a pitch up here. I don't know how flat it is, how grassy it is. So my hope is it will be flat enough and grassy enough for a pitch. I did some research, it does look rocky up there. There is a wee promontory which I might go to, which looks amazing if it's pitchable. But unfortunately, if there's a wind up there, which is forecast to be actually 35 miles an hour, dropping through the night, but 35 mile an hour winds on a promontory might not be the best place to pitch. So I'm hoping that the winds are low enough to get pitched somewhere decent and for a decent pitch. But the more relevant thing is I'm really hoping that there's going to be water in the stream. So as usual, I've scoped out the map and I found the highest water source or stream, and I've only half filled my water bottle, thinking I'll fill it fully when I get to this point to save me carrying it up. But it's been dry for months and I'm beginning to worry now that there's not going to be any water in the stream. So let's go to the stream and see if there's any water in it. Right, I can hear a dribble of water in this little stream. This is the high point that I'd marked in the map, so a dribble's all I need. This might take me longer to fill up the water purification or filter. Right, let's do it anyway. Ooh. Oh, so there we go, that's me filled up my water bottle, and I kept the faith. And there was just, as I said, it was just a trickle coming out of this burn. But I tend to find that if the burn is marked on the OS map, it has to be a really dry spell for there to be no water coming out of it. That's been my experience. Don't take that as gospel though. Don't want you complaining when there is a dry spell and you can't get any water. But yeah, so I've not got my platypus with me today. I've just got like an Algene bottle and my filter. So I filled up the 1 litre bottle and I filled up the filter bottle, and that should keep me going. Enough at least for coffee in the morning and tea tonight. Of course I've got some other liquid which is a little bit more precious, but more about that later. Let's go. There's a wee cairn here, about 700 metres. I'm going to take this opportunity to sit, have a rest and have a wee bite to eat. I reckon it'll be another half an hour before we get there, but it's a pretty unremarkable slope to the top, and it's steady going because it's a relatively short distance you're going from the car to the top, but you do have to gain all that height, about 900 metres, so I knew it was going to be steep, and that's how it's turned out. Grab a couple of sausage rolls. Oh yes, no Scotch eggs today, surprisingly. Right, fueled up a bit more. Probably the next time I'll do a bit to camera will be hopefully as I'm reaching the summits of Ben Hope. I also hope my knee's going to be okay. So this is the first time I've had a big camping pack on since I did the 4,000 foot peaks in the Cairngorms, and my knee was quite sore for a week or two after that. But the bag isn't quite so heavy today because I don't have the winter gear in it. We're we're almost into June. And I tell you what, it's to be a frost tonight, and it's a bit cold now. I might have to put my jacket on when we stop, but they're talking about snow in the higher tops. Who said climate change was happening? Anyway, I hope my knee's going to be okay. Let's carry on to the top. This wasn't in the script. Here's the views. Well, I tell you, there's a keen breeze blowing, wind blowing a wee bit, and clouds in, as you can see, and it's absolutely freezing. I'm going to get my jacket on. I'll just put my normal jacket on just now. I've got my duvet jacket. I'll be putting that on as soon as I stop to get the tent up, but for now let's just get this jacket on and start looking for a pitch, get the tent up as quickly as I can, because this is rather disappointing. I do hope it clears at some point. I'm going to go down and find this promontory as well to see if it's pitchable. Well, this bit here looks actually perfect. Lots of sort of flat grassy bits, so, and just slightly the wind. I can see it whistling over there, so it's just, I think the wind's coming up and over here, so let's get the tent up here. I'll bring you back when I'm pitched up. Right, I've got my food on, and this is a belting wee camp spot. There's hardly any wind. I had hoped when I came up to find somewhere with a little bit of shelter, because the forecast wind speeds were into the 30 mile an hour, gusting up to 35 I think. But this spot here, there's hardly any wind at all. I can see it whistling over the col there. So I think what's happening is it's whistling up the mountain over the top of me. So up there I think it's windy, but here it's settled. You often hear me bemoaning the fact that you never find a flat pitch on the top of a mountain either. Well, this is beautiful flat. I think if it had been normal weather it'd be a bit boggy, but yeah, flat, dry, grassy pitch, it's almost perfect. So I'm super happy. But anyway, pot noodle, homage to Ray. It's not a Bombay bad boy, but it's a pot noodle, so there you are, Ray, one for you. God, that's not taking long to boil at all. It's gone like a jet. Right, tea time. Well, it's cold, oh, yes. But my my hopes were kind of answered. I got a nice pitch, as I mentioned earlier on, nice flat grassy pitch. And the cloud did clear for a while. I was kind of thinking it was clearing and that was going to be it, because the forecast is for this band of cloud to move south. I think I took some videos which you'll see now with it kind of clear. But it's kind of coming back in with a vengeance, so I think I'm just going to call it for tonight, and I'll bring you back in the morning and I'll talk a wee bit more about hope in the morning. And also there's another couple of things I want to speak about. One of the things is just my recollections of this hill from the past, which I'll bore you with tomorrow morning, and also a wee story about some good customer service about a piece of my kit, which I thought it'd be good to share with you, because it's not often. You usually hear people moaning about things like this, but this is a bit of good news. But I shall bring you back in the morning, and hopefully, we'll maybe get some nicer views. But for now, it's time to hit the hay, and I'll see you guys in a few hours. Oh, right, good morning. I've got my coffee, and the time is, it's about half past 8. It's a bit of a leisurely start, but I was up super early. I got up at the back of 4, because that's what time sunrise is. We're not too far away from the longest day, and I popped my head out. I took some footage. There wasn't too much going on. There was a nice bit of the Band of Venus. Anyway, I went back to sleep and woke up with the sound of what I thought was rain on the tent, and I looked outside and it was blooming snowing. It was snowing! Can you believe it? It was, it wasn't lying, but it was fairly big chunks of snow coming down. So yeah, that was a surprise. Well, maybe not a surprise, but there's been no rain for weeks and weeks and weeks. Anyway, summertime in Scotland, Also, when the snow shower cleared, I went over and I could see the sun was beaming down, and my Brocken Spectre was over there. But yeah, I'm going to take you over here and show you the view, because I didn't manage to show you the view last night. It's cold. Hopefully you can see me. Probably not the best angle because I'm shooting into the sun. But you can finally see the view. That hill, which you can probably see, is Ben Loyal. And one of the things I think I mentioned yesterday that's relevant about, well, I didn't mention it, but I said there was a relevance to Ben Hope or something along those lines, and that is that it's the most northerly Munro. It's not the most northerly mountain. I think Cranstackie, which is just over there, is slightly further north. I did a video on that, I'll put that in the description below, talking about that being the most northerly mountain, I think. But it's not a Munro, so nobody talks about it. Everyone talks about Ben Hope. I tell you what, the wind is whistling here. I got the perfect camp spot. The wind's going up and over the top of the camp, and it's fairly benign at the camp spot, but here it's whistling. So anyway, yeah, Ben Hope is the most northerly Munro, and the mountains round about here are quite unique again in Scotland. We've got such a good diversity of mountains, but what makes them unique up here, you've got this sort of flow country, which is low-lying moorland and bog, and these mountains kind of pop out. And you know, you get a similar sort of thing in Ascent, but these ones here, it's just got a different feel to it. You're right on the north. I mean, next stop up that way is Iceland. So yeah, it's lovely. Anyway, I'm going to go back, chill in the tent for a wee while. Hopefully the sun's going to come out and warm me up a bit, and I'll tell you a wee bit more about probably my last trip here, and also some of the topics around Hope. Slowly starting to break the camp down, but before I forget, I almost forgot to talk about the excellent service that I got from Sea to Summit for this. I don't know if you remember last year, well, for a wee while actually, my summer sleeping pad, which was Sea to Summit, was slowly deflating. It had a leak, and I put it in the bath and found there was numerous bubbles coming from the wee dimples. And it was really quite frustrating. I tried to fix them and then I would still do it, and there was loads of them. So somebody had actually mentioned in the comments, I can't remember who you were, but thank you very much, that these have got a lifetime guarantee. So I sent it back to Sea to Summit, and they had it for a few weeks, looked at it, and they deemed it a warranty replacement. So that's really, really good service. Absolutely brilliant, you know, because I'd had it for a few years, and yeah, I don't know if there was a fault with that batch, but we'll see how we get on with this one. This is a large Etherlite XR thermal core, which is an updated version to the one that I had, because they didn't sell the one that I had anymore. So yeah, it's good stuff. So yeah, brownie points to Sea to Summit. You might see behind me I've still got the tent up, but I've got most of the inside of it away. But I'm going to take you down here and show you the view to the north. It's looking hopeful. Oh, a wee bit of scrambling down here. Didn't expect that. Oh, what a spot. I might have a wee seat here. Right, just come down a wee bit. This is this promontory that goes down, but I'm right above the cliffs here. One side of Ben Hope is kind of a slopey, mixed slope face, which is the way the route comes up where I walked up, but there's all these magnificent cliffs on the west side, and lots of lochs. This is Loch Hope, which stretches out towards the sea, and that over there is the sea. And as I said, beyond that, I think Iceland, well, you can see Orkney a bit over to the east, but straight north is probably Iceland, and Greenland's the next stop, so can't get really much further north than this. And although I've been talking about Hope quite a lot, I think Ben Hope actually comes from Norse Bay or Inlet, so maybe Mountain of the Bay or Inlet, given all these sort of lochs. And there's also sea lochs which come in, cut quite deeply into the north of Scotland, and the road has to go in and out. Almost fjord-like without the dramatic fjord heights, as I suppose as you get in Norway. But this has got its own beauty, as I said. It's a unique landscape. Anyway, I have been up here once before, but again, it was decades ago. This is the second time I've been up it, and honestly, the only thing that I can recall, well, I can't recall whether I got a view from the summit or not, so hopefully this is making up for it today, because I'm getting some great views. But the thing that I can recall is driving along the road, and the road being like almost a 4x4 track because there was grass growing out of it, and I can confirm 2 decades later that's still the same. or maybe longer than that, maybe 25 years, could be a quarter of a century, but the road's just as rustic, shall we say. And the second thing I remember, funnily enough, about this was waking up. I slept in the back of the car, and I woke up in the morning with this sort of strange rustling noises and sheep noises, and I looked out and I was above a cloud of wool. They were basically moving a flock of sheep down the road, and I kid you not, I couldn't see the road or any of the surroundings. It was just wee heads popping up and backs of sheep, this white wool. It's funny how you remember these things. So, but what a spot this is. Yeah, perched on the edge of the world almost. Over there's Caithness, and kind of over this way, well, it is over this way, is the magnificent mountain of Finehaven and Arkle. I want to say Mealhorn was the other one, and you'll not be able to see it, but just to the north of that is Cranstackie, which I talked about last night. But Finehaven looks amazing. That's a mountain I'll need to go back and repeat, because when I camped up there I didn't get any views when I climbed it. And I can see down to Cwniag, and I can actually see Sullivan as well. So it's worth keeping this for a day when you can see the tops. And behind you is Ben Loyal, which is another magnificent mountain. It's a fantastic place. As I said, we're so lucky to have this diversity of different mountains in Scotland. You know, the rolling hills of Glen Shee, to the high-cut plateaus of Torridon, to the Inselbergs of Assynt, to the serrated peaks of Skye, to the magnificent mountains of Torridon. For such a small country, we have such a variety of hill walking and climbing. So lucky. All the islands as well. Brilliant. So, yeah, I'll probably go and take the tent down now, and I'll maybe do a final bit to camera back up in the summit. Right, let's go. Here I am back up on the top of Ben Hope. What a lovely view, actually. There's a sweeping ridge. In fact, I'll bring you up and show you. There's a sweeping ridge going down this way. I think, honestly, the route up the mountain that I took, and it's probably the one that's in most of the guidebooks, is probably the least interesting side of the hill. This ridge going down here with these lochans, and the views over to Ben Loyal and then further out towards Orkney are just spectacular. It's just a wonderful, wonderful mountain. I think the ridge to the north, you can come up all these ways, obviously. Oh, that's my poles falling over. You can obviously come up these ways, but yeah, maybe when I come back the next time, I'll spend a bit more time on the mountain and explore some of this area. It is such a lovely and unique area. So yeah, it's just wonderful. I'll bring you around here and talk a wee bit about Hope. Oh yeah, so back to Hope. Well, my hopes and my wishes were certainly granted. I found a fantastic pitch. I'll just reiterate that. This down over there is probably the best part of the hill to pitch. It's a nice wee promontory in the grass. It's almost billiard table flat. Not quite, but you know that is a rarity in the Scottish hills. Anyway, and the view's cleared. The cloud did clear, so that hopeful wishing that would happen certainly came to fruit. My knee's okay. My knee's okay as well. So yeah, those three things have certainly been all right. And yeah, it just shows you just got to keep the faith sometimes, haven't you? You just got to go out and do it. Sometimes things do come right. But anyway, this is the end of the video. Now, if you've been playing the game and having a wee drink of your tea, or more interestingly, alcoholic beverage, you're probably plastered and can't remember this part because I've said Hope so many times. But if somebody wants to count it and put it in the comments, let me know how many times I've said Hope, and it'll be interesting. I'm going to go into over 50 times, that's my guesstimate. But anyway, enough of this nonsense. I need to get back down to the car now, so I'm going to end the video here. Thank you so much for watching. As always, please stay safe out there, and I'll see you next week for another adventure. Right, back to the car. Thank you.